everyone to recite this dua with me. Rabbi shrah li
رب اشرح لي
sadri
صدري
ويسر لي
ويسر لي
أمري
أمري
واحلل
واحلل
عقدة من لساني
عقدة من لساني
يفقه قولي.
يفقه قولي.
ربي زدني علما
ربي زدني علما.
ربي يسر
ربي يسر
ولا تعسر
ولا تعسر
وتمم بالخير
وتمم بالخير
وبك نستعين.
وبك نستعين.
Everyone can recite the Rusha. You know, my dear brothers, for everything in this world, or for every action that we do in the name of Deen, there is a soul of it, there is a body of it. Right? There is an appearance of it, and there is a soul within it. The more strength is going to be there in the soul, the heavier the deed is going to be. Right? So, a lot of times when we go for Hajj and when we perform any deed, we are worried mostly about the appearance of it, the action itself. And we normally neglect the soul of that action. Right? Khushu, like in Salah. Go ahead. I think he, brother.
He's just recording.
Okay. There is another, stand inside. If you want to get that stand in the drawers. So, what I was mentioning now. So that's why Salah itself, it can be done in through 4 or 5 minutes. But the soul in it, that is what real Salah is. We think that standing and going into ruku and making sajda, that is Salah. That is not the real Salah. Real Salah is when it is done through the heart. Real fasting is when it is done through the heart. Kayfiyat is the soul of an amal. Kayfiyat, states of the heart. With what state of heart you have done the action. Like what a hadith says, people get done with offering salah. Everybody gets together in congregation, they offer salah. So apparently it looks like everybody offers salah. But the hadith says not everyone gets the same reward. Everybody was standing in the first row. Everyone did all the same actions similarly. But not everyone gets the same reward. Right? Someone gets 50% of the reward, 10% of the reward, 5% of the reward, and someone gets 100% of the reward. So that is not based upon the appearance, it is based upon with what kayfiyat you came for salah. Similarly, my dear brothers and sisters, it works for Hajj. Let me just go. That is what we really need to be worried about. Right? MashaAllah, all of you are intending to go for Hajj. Allahu Akbar. How should I say what Hajj is? What great of an opportunity it is. Right? You will only realize when you will get there. When you will get to see the house of Allah. How great of an opportunity it is. And the ulama, I have heard so many talks. So ulama says that if I were to summarize this entire journey of Hajj, it is of 2 things. One is patience and one is gratitude. One is patience, one is gratitude. 2 things. This is the whole summary of Hajj. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he gave the khutbah for the people who are going to perform Hajj, he kept on saying this one thing again and again. Be patient. Be patient. Don't rush. Don't rush. Be patient. So, sense of patience has to be there, sense of gratitude has to be there. So first of all, I humbly request from all of you brothers, inshallah, that the more concentration we are going to have, the more need we are going to show, the more it will come out of me. Right, inshallah. So I would request everyone to to put the phones on silent. So we should not get disturbed during the seminar, inshallah. So very first thing is, I have made all of you guys to recite the dua. Right? And that is the first thing. You will see the entire journey of Hajj is filled with duas. Right? So the first half an hour, I just want to emphasize on what is the soul of Hajj is. What is the soul of it is. Right? My dear brothers, a lot of people go for Hajj. But their Hajj is not revolutionary. The Hajj does not change their lives, does not change their ambitions, their emotions, their passions not change. And that is a sign of an unaccepted Hajj. An accepted Hajj is a revolutionary Hajj. That journey you took, that totally changed you from inside out. That is accepted Hajj. That is accepted Hajj. A person was not able to find his heart in the masjid. Now after getting to do the Hajj, he just can't be without the masjid. He just can't be without salah. He just can't be without the recitation of Quran. He just can't be without the remembrance of Allah. Mubarak, congratulations, your Hajj is accepted. But my dear brothers and sisters, if after performing this greatest deed one can do in his life, a person comes back and he starts to live the same life, you tell me, that is it going to be called? It is an accepted Hajj. And the reason why is this, that a lot of people just go perform Hajj without learning it, without understanding it, without practicing it, without taking the exercise of it. So that wrestler who has to wrestle the opponent in the ring, when does he start to exercise? After getting into the ring. Before he gets into the ring. That's when he exercises. And his entire performance in the ring is dependent upon before he entered the ring. It's all dependent upon that. So all of you, those of you who are planning to go for Hajj, your journey has already begun. This is from now on. Right? And very first thing in it is to bring kayfiyat. I was sitting there preparing, and I was trying to control my emotions. It's just, can you imagine what great of an opportunity? Allah is calling you to meet Him. Allahu Akbar. Right? When you will see the house of Allah, my dear brothers, Allahu Akbar. Right now we are thinking, $9,000, $10,000, or this many $1,000, and this many days I have to take off, and this I have to leave my family here. All of this you were thinking. When you will get there, and you will see the house of Allah, you will say, if I would have had everything in the world and I would have sacrificed it, it would have worth it. That is what the house of Allah is. One glance on the house of Allah. So my dear brothers, very first thing I want everyone to begin this seminar with is the sense of gratitude. सोचो तो सही क्या मिल गया आपको? We cannot comprehend what great of a blessing it is. And one of my sheikhs always used to say, whenever he would give the bayan for Hajj, he always used to say, there are people in the world who have traveled the entire world, gone everywhere, very rich people, but still they didn't got the chance to visit the house of Allah. He said, I know people who take, in Pakistan he was saying, I know people who travel to Europe several times within a month. But if you go and ask them, have you ever visited the house of Allah? No. Never got to perform Umrah, never got to perform Hajj. And before I move on and get into the soul of Hajj, I just want to prepare you guys to learn the Hajj. This is what I'm trying to do right now. The kafiyat needs to be there to learn the Hajj, has to be there to learn the Hajj. You know, I'll give you just one example. You know, that player who performs really well in one match, and when the selectors sit down to select the team, the players for the next match, what they say? Oh, this player who performed very well, he is in the team. There is no argument. There's no debate about him. About the rest, let's talk about the rest. He who performed very well in the first, he is going to be there for sure. This is what it is. The one who performs his first Hajj properly, and he gets his Hajj accepted by Allah, and Allah likes the way he performs Hajj. Next time, his selection is made automatically. About rest is the debate will be on. But for him, I was listening to this one shaykh, and he mentioned he met one brother from Yemen, one elderly brother from Yemen, in Mina, and his age was 120 years. How old he was? 120 years. So the Shaykh said when we met him, I asked him that he said to us that I performed my first Hajj when I was 20 years old. I performed my first Hajj when I was 20 years old. And then he said, since then every single year I have come for your Hajj. How many Hajj, everybody? 100. And he said, out of those 100, 80 of them I did on foot. On foot. Those who perform Hajj on foot, angels embrace them. And for each step they take during the journey of Hajj, they get 700,000 good deeds. That's Hajj on foot. So my dear brothers, several things I want to mention to you guys. So Ibrahim a.s. made the dua. He called out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he built the Kaaba. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him, Wa'azin fil nasi bil hajj. You know, like the way we call azan for our salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Ibrahim a.s. to call azan for Hajj. So Ibrahim a.s. said, Ya Allah, no one is here, who's going to listen to me? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that calling azan is your job. Making people listen to it is my job. So he started calling adhan for Hajj, and the riwayat says everyone on the face of earth and those souls who were going to be born, not even on the people on the earth, but those souls who were about to born until the day everyone heard that adhan. And whoever said labbaik Allahumma labbaik, as many times they have said, as many times they are going to get to perform Hajj and Umrah. So there were people who kept on saying. So they get to go every year. They get to go every often. So very first thing is this yearning has to be there. That I should get to perform that Hajj which gets my Hajj accepted, gets me accepted. And for that's why we are here. Right? So before we start, very first thing, that the way we have recited dua. Second thing is we all need to ask Allah for help. Ask Allah for help. Right? You know, this materialistic life that we live in, we have so much dependency on our materialistic things that we have totally forgotten about our dependence on Allah. For everything, our mind goes up to our money or our things. No, our mind should right away go towards Allah. Any problem we get into, anything happens, anything I want to do, first thing I should be seeking help from Allah. This mizaj needs to be created, this temperament, this habit needs to be developed. Because my dear brothers, please listen to me. There are going to be moments in Hajj, no matter what package you have bought, no matter how much money you have spent. In Pakistan, this one alim, he says, Allah, he says, कुछ मौके ऐसे आते हैं हज में जहां ना बस चलती है ना बस चलता है. The bus is not going to, you will not find any bus and you will not find any help. Right? So you will be all helpless. But who's going to be still there? So this is something needs to be done right now. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will see this when I will show it to you. You will see this, that every time when you will intend to do something, there is a dua. And dua is based upon two things. Based upon how many things, everybody? Two things. One is that you are asking Allah for help. Oh Allah, make it easy for me. You're not asking for the Hajj group leader. You're not asking for the companions with you. No, you should ask who? Allahumma yassiru li. Allah, make it easy for me. Tawaf, make it easy for me. Sa'i, make it easy for me. The whole journey, make it easy for me. And the second thing which we need to be focusing upon is qubuliyat, taqabbalhu minni. Accept it from me. Allah Akbar. The only thing, the only problem I'm going through is what should I say and what should I not say. The time is very limited. My dear brothers, as many, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I should tell this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already took me 3 times for Hajj. Alhamdulillah. But still, whenever I get to learn Hajj, I feel like I don't know anything. I still have to learn a lot. So this one seminar is not going to be enough. This is what I'm trying to say. This is just, I'm giving you an overview, that's all. Every single day until you reach Hajj, you have to take seminars, you have to take classes, you have to listen to talks. Because there is going to be, Allah will make it easy for you, inshallah. Allah will accept. When I was listening to it, he was saying that no matter how much you get to learn and how perfect you get, things are still going to go wrong. And you have to make up that mind right now. And then he said, it is not the nature of Hajj, it's the nature of life itself. How many plans do we make? How many preparations do we have for our plans? And then still things go wrong or not? Right? So things will go wrong. That's why Rasulullah again and again emphasized to have patience. To have patience. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He described Hajj, He said, فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. Don't fight, because you're going to lose temper. Things will still. Now, that is why one thing I want to mention within the soul of Hajj. My dear brothers, before I forget this, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to Aisha radiallahu anha, these are essential things. What I'm explaining right now, these are the essential things for to perform Hajj. Having this idea of asking Allah for help, having this idea for always focusing on each act should be accepted by Allah. The third idea I want everyone to have from now on is the idea of embracing problems and sacrifices for the sake of Allah. Because what normally happens? Our mindset is, oh, I have bought the most expensive package. I'm going to be performing the most comfortable Hajj. When you're going with this mindset, small things will prick you. Choti cheezein chubhengi aapko. And when you're going with this temperament, oh, I'm ready to embrace anything for Allah. I'm ready to walk. I'm ready to, shed my sweat. मैं पसीना बहाने के लिए तैयार हूँ. I'm ready to embrace everything. Oh, that is going to be the most enjoyable Hajj. I'll tell you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Aisha radiallahu anha, "Ajruki ala qadri nasabiki." That the reward of your Hajj is going to be based upon your work. Nasab, the tiredness, huh? No, it's the much you're going to get tired, the sacrifices you will put into that Hajj, that is what's going to decide how much reward you're going to get. Your tiredness. And I'll tell you before I move on, Hazrat Thanvi Rahmatullah, one great Shaykh, he always used to say, please everyone pay attention. He always used to say, this thought used to come into my head a lot, and it used to bother me a lot, this question. And Allah is so Rahman, so Rahim, so merciful, and He's Wadud, who loves us, who intensely loves us. Right? More than 70 mothers, more than the love of 70 mothers. Even one mother, how much she loves? Does she ever going to even think about putting us into sacrifice? Allah loves us that much. So why Allah has put so many? Allah could have just picked us and put us into Jannah. Why Allah has put so many hurdles to go into Jannah? So you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to prevent yourself from this, you have to do so many things. Right? So then he said, I was reading to some poetry of Allama Rumi Rahmatullah, and I heard that in it. I heard that in it. One shi'r that answered me for this question. That Rumi Rahmatullah said that the joy one feels of reaching the destination, it depends on how much sacrifices he has done throughout the journey. If you just reach the destination without any sacrifice, that destination will be not joyful. When you go through a lot and you finally reach the destination, so Jannat is not going to taste good if you don't go through sacrifices. Right? What did just day before I was reciting these ayats of Surah Fatih? As soon people of Jannah will land in Jannah. May Allah make all of us among them. First thing they are going to say, Alhamdulillahi alladhi adhaba anna al-hazan. And then they are going to say, La yamassuna fiha nasabu wala yamassuna fiha lugh. Ab koi thakaan nahi hogi. Now you're not going to get tired. Now you're not going to get tired. Meaning they are going to be tired already. Right? By making efforts all their life long. So they will get into Jannah tired. And then they will say, now you're not going to get tired. So my dear brothers, have this idea. And that is going to make your Hajj easier. When you're expecting a lot of comfort, even little bit of discomfort is going to bother you. But if you are already ready for discomfort, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to walk in sunlight. I'm ready to bear heat. I'm ready to walk. Then you will walk 15 hours, 16 hours, and you will not feel anything.
Set those expectations.
I took my aunt. She is like 55 years old. 2019 we went. Allahu Akbar. So, and this is also one more thing. Time is running out. One more thing. One is to just go perform Hajj. And one is to go perform Hajj with this intention that I'm going to help others. I'm going to teach others. I'm going to make Hajj easy for others. Then see how much strength Allah will give you. Does it make sense? Because Allah deals with us according to our intentions. So when you're looking for comfort and when you're looking for your own self, Allah's help is not with you. But when you're looking for, I'm going to comfort others, I still remember, I cannot just express the taste. Even right now, 2013, I went for the first time. There was one family with us, one husband and wife. They had an infant there was a stroller with them. And this father, he had his father also with them, who was on wheelchair. So me, myself, and one of my teachers, we were constantly with them, the family. The stroller used to be in my hand, the wheelchair used to be in my teacher's hand. Can you imagine? I can't just express that feeling. So anyway, first thing is that we need to ask help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second thing is that we make intention right now. Oh Allah, I want to perform that Hajj which is liked by you. Everybody say it, which is pasandida Hajj karna hai. Not only Hajj, the Hajj which is liked by Allah. And we have to strive for this. I want to do this. One great Shaykh, he says, after Arafah was over, I was sleeping after Hajj was over, I was sleeping in a place, and I saw in dream 2 angels came down. How many? 2 angels came down. One of them, they both were talking to each other. One of them said to the other, do you know this time how many people performed Hajj? He said about 200, 300,000. And then he asked him, do you know how many of those people whose Hajj got accepted, how many of their Hajj got accepted? So he said, I don't know. He said, only 2. Only
2.
And then he said, for 200,000 did, only 2 got accepted. But for each, Allah liked it so much that Allah accepted the 100,000. एक की वजह से 1 लाख का कबूल हो गया. For each, Allah accepted 100,000. Why don't we be the one? That Allah likes that Hajj so much that Allah, because of you, Allah accepts the Hajj for everyone. Does it make sense to everyone? So that is our intention. Why are we here? We want to perform that Hajj which is liked by Allah. Okay? And for that, obviously, see, when Allah asked us to perform Hajj, that ayat in which Allah asked us to perform Hajj, Allah only mentioned 2 things. وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. This is Allah, whatever Allah wanted from us, Allah mentioned in this brief, this part of that, this small. أَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. And Allah demanded from the Hujjaj 2 things. One is itmam. Everybody say it? Itmam. Second is ikhlas. Itmam and ikhlas. These 2 things Allah required in Hajj. Itmam means what? That every deed in Hajj should be done completely, not incomplete. All the farais should be done, all the sunnah should be done, all the mustahabbat should be done. Intention has to be correct. All of that has to be there. And you know, my dear brothers, please, before I forget this, intention is the most critical part. We take it very easily, and it is the most critical part. A lot of times, people go perform Hajj just because if I don't, people will say, oh, look, he is rich and how old is he, and he has not performed Hajj. Just because of. And a lot of time, people go for Hajj and they do a lot of tawaf, a lot of umrah, just because when we will go back, people will ask, how many umrah you perform? So if we will say only 1, people will say, oh, you did only 1. And I'm performing, people will ask, how many tawaf you used to do every day? So if I would say only 1 or 2, people will make fun of me. So I have to do a lot. Is that ikhlas? First of all, people should not be asking Hujjaj that how many umrah and tawaf you did. Second of all, if anyone would ask, what you should say? Allah knows. Allah knows. Right? Allah knows, and the many got accepted, the much I did. You can say the much got accepted, jitne qabul hue na utne kiye. You know, I don't want to scare everyone, but I just want to show you that how critical niyat is. One alim, he was a great qari in South Africa. A lot of students graduated from his, did memorize Quran through him. So one alim came up to him and he asked, how many students did hifz with you? So he started crying. And he said, only at the time of death I will find out. Because my dear brothers, that deed which is not done sincerely for Allah is not even going to be in the book of deeds. You will be thinking, oh, I have done so much this, But if it's not for Allah, it's not. Allah, Allah lillahi deenul khalis. Sincerity. So this is one thing, sincerity. Now, that is why we are here, to learn itmam, and to produce sincerity. We have to start from now on. Oh Allah, I'm doing it for you. Keep on checking your intention again and again. Oh Allah, I'm doing it for you. This is something can slip in fraction of a moment. Intention can slip in a fraction of a moment. Right? Sometimes people have good niyat before Hajj, have good niyat during the Hajj, but their niyat and intention slipped after Hajj. This one alim who was giving us talk about Hajj, he said that I was sitting. A group of ulama went to see one Haji who came back from Hajj, and we sat with him, and he asked his son to bring food. And when the food was brought, he said, "Those utensils which I brought from Saudi in my 5th Hajj, bring those utensils." So this alim told me, my teacher was telling me, that in one sentence he ruined his 5 Hajj. एक जुमले में 5 हज बर्बाद कर दी. Shaitan, are you taking a shaitan easy? Shaitan is not easy to deal with shaitan. So, but sincerity, that is what shaitan said. Illa ibadaka minhumul mukhlasin. He said the only people who are going to get saved from me are the ones who are sincere with Allah. Okay, so now, and that is what we see. Ibrahim alayhi salam, the one who founded the Kaaba, and who initiated all of this, he himself asked Allah in Quran, "Wa arina manasikana." Allah, you teach me how to perform it. Imagine Ibrahim alayhi salam is asking Allah. So who are we? How much we need to ask? Okay, and then you will see this again and again. Like I have mentioned, each dua will consist of these 2 things. Oh Allah, make it easy for me and accept it for me. Now, what ikhlas is of 2 things. Ikhlas is of 2 things. One is to do for the sake of Allah. Secondly, for each deed, the virtue of it should be in your mind. You should be mindful of the promises of Allah, and that is what is going to make it easy for you the whole Hajj. Like ulama gives example. If I were to ask one of the brother, this these bricks, you gotta move from here to there. If I were to say just, "Oh brother, I'm really busy and it's just too heavy to me to pick up," no, I cannot. And if I were to say, "Brother, these bricks, you have to move it from here to there, and for each brick I will give you $1,000. Then you know what the individual is going to say? "Please don't tell anyone else."
I will do myself.
Don't tell anyone else. Please, have you told this to anyone else too? This is going to be the answer. Right? The mushaqqat, the tiredness and the sacrifice disappears when you have the reward in front of you. Does it make sense to everybody? It disappears. Now, quickly, and now to do this, after each amal, everybody has to do 3 things. Now, I want everyone to take out their phones and take some notes, please. Because I was thinking to bring notebook, but I know everyone is going to lose it. But phone, everyone will take notes in the phone. Everyone should have it. Inshallah. I'll share it with you, inshallah. 3 things we need to do after each action. After each action, we need to do 3 things. First of all, Alhamdulillah, saying Alhamdulillah. Oh Allah, you granted me. And then second of all, everyone should say Astaghfirullah. Oh Allah, I didn't do it the way it's supposed to be done. Because this is a sign of a mukhlis. A sincere person, as soon he gets to do a good deed, he starts fearing of it not being done properly. If you have this fear in your heart, congratulations, you have ikhlas. But if after getting to do a good deed, a person feels proud, oh look, I offered salah, and there is problem. Third thing, reciting this dua. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alayna innaka antat tawwabur rahim. This dua needs to be. These three things after each action one has to do. Does it make sense to everybody?
The second one.
Alhamdulillah, astaghfirullah, and the third one is Rabbana taqabbal minna. Reciting this dua. Rabbana taqabbal minna. Asking Allah for acceptance. So first is to thank Allah that Allah grants you this opportunity to do this good deed. I was not deserving of it. Allah granted me. Second is astaghfirullah, thinking this I didn't do it the way it's supposed to be done. And the third one is asking for Allah for acceptance, and that is what Ibrahim alayhis salam did. Imagine how many sacrifices Ibrahim alayhis salam gave. Right? After giving so many sacrifices, would he be asking Allah for acceptance? He did it for Allah, there was no one else there. Still he begged Allah, accept this one. Okay, too much time going on. Now, there are three things everyone needs to write down. If you build these three habits, your Hajj journey is going to be the best journey of your life. If you develop these three habits before you go for Hajj, and you constantly engage yourself in these three things, you're going to have an extremely good journey, no matter what happens in Hajj. Number one, सीखने का मिजाज बना के जाना है. This habit of learning and teaching. Every single day, I need to be engaging myself, learning and teaching. Right? There are so many brothers. Please look at it. There are so many brothers going to be with you, and sisters also. They are going. So my mother, I was speaking to my mother today when she went with me, and I was telling her that I told her this, and she was telling me that there were so many women in the camp did not have any idea how to perform Hajj, and they were there for it. So when you have this constant habit of learning, teaching, how many people you are going to benefit? Right? So number one thing is having the mizaj, temperament, and habit of learning and teaching. Second habit we need to develop before you go for Hajj is the habit of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala excessively. Ibadat ka mizaj bana ke jana hai. You have to develop this habit of worshipping Allah. Naflon ka mizaj, offering nafl salah excessively, recitation of Quran, remembrance of Allah. Right? Because if we do not develop this, then what are you going to do over there? You're going to be on your phone. You're going to be on Facebook. And trust me, Allahu Akbar, you're going to come back the way you went. Ibadat ka mizaj. Each deed in haram is 100 multiplied by 100,000 times. Can you imagine? You're in a gold mine, you're in a diamond mine. And if you have no habit of worshipping Allah excessively, then what will happen? One of the habits you need to develop before you're going for Hajj is excessive walking. Especially when we are living in West, we don't walk at all. Everything is drive-through, right? Drive-through salah also. You just come and they drive right at the corner and then offer salah. It's just everything is on the car. And over there, you've got the greatest ibadat of Hajj is tawaf. And how does one do tawaf? Circle in the Kaaba. How does he do? Walking. There were mashayikh. My dear brothers, the time is going on, and this is very essential things I have to share with you. Even before Hajj, arkan of Hajj, these things needs to be explained. There were mashayikh who used to perform 70 tawaf during a day. How many?
70.
One tawaf, it is based on 7 rounds. So 70 tawaf, how many? And after each tawaf, you have to offer 2 rakat. How many rakats are there? 70 rakat, 70 tawaf, how many? Each tawaf, 2 rakats. 140 rakat every day.
They have 24 hours?
It's not about 24 hours. They had the mizaj with them. That is what they were there for. And I'll tell you, my dear brothers, please, this is what I'm trying to explain. देखो जब नशा लग जाता है किसी चीज का, when you get intoxicated, you don't feel pain. That is the real essence of Hajj. You feel the intoxication of the love of Allah. अल्लाह के मोहब्बत में नशे, अल्लाह की मोहब्बत के नशे में आ जाए इंसान. That you won't feel anything. You will not get tired of it. You will not get done with it. You understand? So inshallah. So second thing, what I said, is what we need to develop.
Excessive worship.
Habit of excessive worshiping. And when you gonna develop this? After getting into the ring. From now on, making sure I'm ready for 5 times salah, I'm offering 5 times salah, I'm offering tahajjud, I'm offering ishraq, I'm offering salatul hajj. Frequently. And excessive recitation of Quran, excessive remembrance of Allah. And the most important thing, subhanallah, developing habit of making long supplications. I'm not going to ask this question. Everyone ask yourself, how long you can raise your hand before Allah? How long you can make dua? I will suggest this to everybody, that please, before you go for Hajj, read the Hajj Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There are books I will share. There is a WhatsApp group I have created. Inshallah, everyone can join that, and then I'll share all the material with you. Right? I want everyone to read. One of them is reading the Hajj of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and you will see this. Allah. I'll tell you the summary of entire Hajj of Rasulullah. The entire summary is Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came to this point, cried and made dua. He came to this point, cried and made dua. Came to this point, cried and made. Only two things: cry and dua. Cry and dua. So if a person doesn't have a habit, doesn't know how to cry before Allah, he's not going to be enjoying Hajj. He's not going to be able to get anything from Hajj. You're going to learn how to cry. You're going to learn how to make long supplications. लंबी दुआएं कैसे मांगी जाती हैं? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Arafat, he made dua for 5 hours. How long, everybody? We can't even do 5 minutes. One alim he mentioned, we make dua, please don't get me wrong. But he said what he said, it was right. We make dua to Allah the way a boss is assigning tasks to his employee. Oh Allah, do this. This is dua. Gotta learn how to, the whole half an hour, 1 hour talk I can give to know what dua is. That's why it's been throughout the day. Since yesterday I've been preparing, how to give the seminar, but I'm not able to. What should I not emphasize? What should I leave? Cannot be done in 2 hours. This cannot be done. Anyway, so number one thing what I said, ta'aleem ka mizaj bana ke dana. Second thing is excessive worshipping. And in worshipping, I told you most importantly is dua. Write it down. Dua. Learn right now. From now on, sit down in a corner in your house when nobody is there and start making dua. And tell yourself, I'm not going to put my hands down until half an hour. And see, and see the relief you will feel in your heart. Okay, anyway. And then the third thing is that having this ambition, like I mentioned earlier also, ambition of teaching others. So one is to learn, second is to have excessive ibadat, third is the ambition of teaching others. Look in the camp. So many people are going to be there who have no idea. So you gotta go teach, conveying it to others. Right? These 3 things will keep you busy throughout the Hajj. The Hajj will become a great adventure. Maza aayega aapko Hajj mein. Otherwise you're gonna be free. The more free are you going to be, the more you're gonna give yourself up to shaitan. Everyone understand? Oh, he was saying, you're not doing anything. Let's go to the market. Let's do some shopping. You went all the way here to do shopping. People even being Hajj, being in front of the Kaaba, and they are spending time in the markets. Because ibadat ka to mizaji nahi bana, masjid mein dil nahi lagta, there is no heart in the masjid. I cannot sit in the remembrance of Allah for more than half an hour. But half an hour is done, now the person is in the line of a restaurant. And he's buying this and buying that, fragrances and all that. Oh, we're not going all the way there for the markets. Okay, everybody understand that? Inshallah. And then, the last thing is, what I want to emphasize before we, inshallah, start the Masail of Hajj, is that consider this learning how to perform Hajj also an act of worship. This right now what we are doing is one of the highest form of worshipping. Right? When we go offer salah, we consider that worshipping. This is the greatest dilemma of nowadays, of this time, this day and age, that people don't consider learning deen as an act of worship. It is the highest form of worshipping. Right? And for that, inshallah, I'm going to provide everyone material. Every single day we got to listen to the talks of ulama. Every alim you're going to listen to, so many ulama I have heard. Every alim I initially thought he's going to talk the same Hajj. Anyone should be talking about, but every alim you listen to, he has different things to tell. He has different dimensions of Hajj, different aspects of Hajj. Every taste is different. Every alim is different. And I'm telling you, my dear brothers, if you are success, brothers and sisters, if you are successful in creating that state of heart which is required to perform Hajj, this is going to be the best journey of your life. Otherwise, what happens? People don't enjoy Hajj, and when they come back and people ask them what happens, they start to tell the bad things about Hajj. Oh, there was too much rush. Oh, we were not able to eat, we were not able to sleep. And this is the greatest sign of one being deprived of the mercy of Allah. आदमी वापस आके हज की बुराइयां करनी शुरू कर दे, सबसे बड़ी पैरोटी के अलावा. This is the greatest deprivation of Allah. So inshallah, with that we can start. Just this one thing. It's in Urdu. I'll translate in English. Now this is what we have spoke about till now. This was all Ruh Hajj. This was all the soul of Hajj. Everybody understood? Now how this is the real preparation for Hajj. Right? Learning, teaching, developing habits before going, right? And then sincerity and all that. Now what are the fazail of Hajj? This needs to be in everyone's mind. You can see it easily. You can see it? Okay, that's fine. So, whenever a person comes back from Hajj, he is as if he is just born. Second thing is, when those who are going to perform Hajj, they are spending a lot of money. But the hadith says, Al-tabi'u bayn al-hajj wal-umrah. Frequently perform Hajj and Umrah. Because فَإِنَّهُمَا يَنْفِيَانِ الْفَقْرَ وَالذُّنُوبَ. Because these Hajj and Umrah, they completely wipes off two things. One is sins, second thing is poverty. You're thinking that I'm spending so much money, my bank account is depreciating. It's not depreciating. You will see it when you will come back. Because through Hajj, Allah لِيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَ لَهُمْ. Allah has kept so many benefits in Hajj. So, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the hadith it comes, now this is the greatest glad tidings for everybody here. This one alim he said based on this hadith. Everybody will understand this. So if I know Abdul Wahab bhai very well, right? And one weekend I called Abdul Wahab bhai, I'm coming over your house, I'm going to be staying overnight. That is it. That is all I have to say. Now, all other preparation is on whose shoulders? Abdul Wahab has to arrange my room, my beddings. If I don't sleep without drinking milk, it's all Abdul Wahab's responsibility. That's how it is because I am the guest. He is the host. The hadith says, Hujjaj al-Ummar hum ziyafullah. Right? So you are the guest of Allah. Each and every one of us, of those who are going, they are the guests of Allah. So Allah will let his guest down. No, Allah will. If a human being does everything for his guest, how Allah is going to do the hospitality? How hospitality Allah is going to show? And you will see it. What Alim told me, listen to me this very carefully. Allah, I remember, he said, मौलाना जो मांगोगे ना मिलेगा जरा देख के मांगना. He said whatever you will ask you will get. Just think before you ask. Whatever you're going to ask you will get. It's Allah. Okay, and then the hadith says that Hajj which is done with birr, with no sins in it, no sins committed in it, that is called Hajj Mabrur. The reward of it is Jannah. And then for each step you will take during the journey of Hajj, you will get 700 good deeds. And those who perform Hajj on foot, 700,000. And in those who are using the vehicles throughout the Hajj, angels, when you get to Muzdalifah Arafah, angels shake the hands. But those who are walking, angels embrace them. And then for each Haji, each person who performs Hajj, Allah gives him a quota of 400 people. About them, his intercession is accepted. 400 people, his intercession accepted. And then when the Haji says Talbiyah, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, all creation gets together and says Talbiyah with him, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Rasulullah when he was saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, the rocks, trees, everything was saying Talbiyah with him. That is how our kafiyat should be. And then those people who perform tawaf, circulate the Kaaba, they get, so every constantly on Kaaba 120 mercy of Allah are descending. 120 rahmatein nazil hoti. 120. 60 of them are only for those people who are performing tawaf. And then as soon you will do istilam, Hajr Aswad. A lot of ulama they say that it was not Aswad, it was not black before. It was white when it came from Jannah. But as soon a person does istilam, it sucks up all of his sins. And that's how it turned into black. Right? So, but some ulama they say it's not Aswad black, but it's from Siyada. Siyada is to being the chief, being the leader. So Hajr Aswad is the chief of all the rocks. So that's why it's called Hajr Aswad, the greatest rock. And then this is extremely this is the greatest deed. That the greatest event is Arafah. Because Rasulullah he said, Al-Hajju al-Arafah. Right? The greatest event or the greatest rukun of Hajj is what, everybody? Arafah. You get Arafah, you got Hajj. You lose Arafah, you lost Hajj. For anything else, you left it, you can give a penalty, you can do something else to recompense that. But if you missed Arafah, you missed the Hajj. You have to come back next year. So Arafah is the best. Now, it's a whole talk about what Arafah is. But I'll tell you quickly that Arafah is from Ma'rifat. And a lot of people know what does Ma'rifat mean, recognition. So that is that moment in which a person really recognizes the awe of Allah, the greatness of Allah. And that is what Arafah means. Right? And on that day, Shaitan is not disgraced in any day of the year the much he is disgraced on this day. When on this day he picks up sand and he pours it over his head. Because he sees all life long he made you do sins, and Allah is now forgiving everybody. On the day of Arafah, everyone gets forgiven. Only the one who has doubted his forgiveness. The one who says, "Pata nahi meri maghfirat hui hai nahi." The one who has this temperament, only that person is not forgiven. Otherwise, everyone is forgiven on that day. Now, in Rami, when a person throws pebbles on the shaitan, everybody please listen to me. Because there are going to be 3 days which needs to be done, and there is a 4th additional day which is optional. But those who know the virtues, for them it's not going to be optional. They are eager to earn the reward. Right? Although it's optional, but this is the once in any opportunity. Right? For each pebble you throw, एक पत्थर जो मारते हैं, for that Allah forgives that big of a sin which one was enough to put you in Jahannam. एक इतना बड़ा गुनाह माफ हो जाता है जो एक ही गुनाह इतना काफी था कि वही जहन्नम में ले जाता है. That's how that many sins are forgiven. Now, okay, so that is it. Inshallah, let's start the issues. Inshallah, I still didn't do a good job explaining to you what still a lot of it is left. Inshallah, I'm going to share the talks and the books and these files in the Hajj group. So everybody, these 2 hours from now on until you go for Hajj, every day you need to take these 2 hours out to really learn Hajj, to really get well versed in it. Inshallah, everybody will do it. Okay. Now. We have learned all of the falaid. So now this is the status of Umrah and Hajj. Umrah is sunnah. To perform in Umrah is sunnah. Performed at any time during the year. Right? Except the days of Hajj, anyone can go any time and perform Umrah. Hajj is mandatory, once in a lifetime. And specifically those who are going for the first time. Everybody please. The first time when you perform it, that is considered your first Hajj. So after that, even though many times you go for Hajj, it is only going to be considered nafil. It's not going to be farz. So those who are going for the first time, they have to take it even more seriously. Because the first Hajj has to be done properly. Does it make sense? So once during lifetime for adult who can afford it, perform during the days of Hajj from 8th of Zil Hajj till the 13th of Zil Hajj. These 5 days are called the ayyam of Hajj. Everybody understand? 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th till the end. Right? So these days are called for that. Now, these are the restrictions, conditions everybody needs to have. So, must be physically able to make the journey, and wealth has to be there. Right? All of these everybody knows. So, now ruling is if one is able to perform, one is meeting all the conditions, he has to do it immediately. Must be done immediately. Sin to delay. Obviously, it's going to be sin to delay to perform Hajj. Now, first of all is types of Hajj. Background, Prophet ﷺ performed one Hajj. Before this Hajj, also performed Umrah. So, sunnah to perform Umrah before the Hajj. Right? Ihram, what is Ihram? Ihram, we're going to explain this with detail. But to perform Umrah or Hajj, state of Ihram is necessary. So it's a state. It's not those two garments that you put on yourself. People normally think that is Ihram. That state in which a person gets into is called Ihram. So a person can be wearing those 2 garments, but not be in the state of Ihram. Right? So that state of Ihram is called Ihram. So whenever I will refer to Ihram, that means that state of Ihram. Does it make sense? Intention when placing Ihram divides Hajj into 3 types. Now, at the time when you will put on Ihram, the intention you are going to make, that is what going to define which type of Hajj you are doing. There are 3 types. One is Hajj Tamattu. Everybody together. Second is Qiran. Third is Ifrad. Now, a lot of people perform tamattu, right? The most virtuous is qiran, right? Although tamattu has a lot of virtue too, but qiran is the most virtuous according to Ahnaf. And then there is ifrad. What is tamattu? So, like he said, Rasulullah performed both together, Umrah and Hajj. So tamattu literally means to benefit, to take advantage of something, right? So you're performing Hajj, you're taking this journey. So if a person going all the way there, then he should be performing both Umrah and Hajj, right? So that is you benefiting from the journey at the best, the best way, right? So that is called tamattu. Now in tamattu, what a person does. Let's say you're going there first Zilhaj or third Zilhaj, any day. So you, before entering into Ihram, you will make niyat of performing Umrah only. Of performing what, everybody? Umrah. And when you will reach the Kaaba, you will perform your Umrah and you will shave off your head and you will get out of the state of Ihram. You will get out of the state of Ihram. And then 8th of Zilhaj, until the 8th of Zilhaj. So let's say you got there on the 3rd Zilhaj, you performed Umrah, you got out of the Ihram. So 4, 5, 6, 7. All these 4 days you're going to live like a normal person. On the 8th of Zilhaj, you're going to wear Ihram again from Makkah. And this Ihram is going to be for the Hajj. Understand? So this is easier. That's why everybody does this Umrah, this type of Hajj. Most beneficial, you're performing both Umrah and Hajj together, and you getting the leeway of not wearing Ihram throughout. Right? So that is called, what this type of Hajj is called? Tamattu. Qiran is that you combine both in one Ihram. So when you put on Ihram initially, you make niyat of both Umrah and Hajj. So in this situation, what happens? You go perform Umrah, and after performing Umrah, you don't shave your head. You leave your head unshaved and you keep wearing the Ihram. Now this is harder, that's why it's more rewarding. Right? For those people who are getting there at the last moment, on the 7th of Zilhaj, for them it's very easy. And the first Hajj I did, alhamdulillah, I did Qiran. Because we were in Medina, so those who are going to Medina first, they don't have to wear any Ihram. Right? When they will leave and set out from Medina to Makkah, that's when they need to wear Ihram. So luckily we went to Medina first, and Medina, Allahu Akbar. Another day, another time is required for me to describe you what Medina is. But there's so much nur, there's so much sweetness, there's so much coolness, there's so much love. In Haram I say, may Allah protect me from exaggeration, but what I will say, in Haram what happens, you will only see nur getting out from the house of Allah. But in Medina, you will see nur from even normal buildings. So much nur. It will be extremely hard for you to leave Medina. You gotta drag yourself from Medina. That's how Medina is. You gotta drag yourself. I went, I remember, 3rd day, we had only 3 nights. So 3rd day came, and I said to Allah, oh Allah, I don't want to go from Medina. I don't want to go from Medina. I started crying and I said, Allah, I don't want to go from Medina. And I said to you, every dua gets accepted. So the 4th day in the morning, the buses came, and me and my teacher, we were together. And asked Allah, my dear brothers, I don't know what to say and what not to say, Allah. Ask Allah for this. Oh Allah, grant me good companions in Hajj. What did I say? This is, you gotta beg Allah before you go for Hajj. Good company. Because remember, all I said before is developing good habits, and habits are developed by the people of habits. Right? If my best friend or the one whom I am accompanied with eats a lot, I'm going to be starting eating a lot. Yeah? I'm not quite going to say, but I'm just saying. Right? If the one whom accompanied me, he sleeps a lot, he's always resting and he's always busy, obviously I'm going to develop that too. But if I see him always worshipping, always supplicating, I swear on this, until that first Hajj, when I saw my teacher who was with me throughout the night, when I saw him crying, like a baby, that was the first time I ever learned how to cry before Allah. I cry like a baby, He would go in sajda and he would just not get up from sajda for 20-25 minutes. That was like blow on my head. A person can make this long of a sajda? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is how you learn. You gotta beg Allah for this. Ya Allah, grant me good companions. And there at the same time, there are those companions who are going to become a pain in the head. I'm telling you this. There are going to be those people. So that's why ulama has resembled the journey of Hajj with the journey of death, journey of hereafter. The hadith says the good deeds in your grave and in the journey of hereafter are going to be good in a person, are going to be like a good company, a good friend. So when you have a good friend in a journey, how sweetful the journey becomes. Right? And when you have a bad company with you throughout the time, who's always complaining, who's always shouting, who's always bothering, what will happen? So ask Allah for this. Allah, I need good company during Hajj. And that's why I ask you to look for ulama. Right? The best company is the one who has best akhlaq. Right? That's why the hadith says, if you want to know about someone, who he really is, have a journey with him. Suffer karke dekho. Because during journey, the real self comes out. The real self. The asal hota hai na aadmi, wo aata hai. So anyway, what I was saying, no, I was about to say something. So yeah, that's what I was going. So 4th day in the morning, I was begging Allah, I don't want to go. So I was with my teacher. We were sitting, and the group leader, he came and he said, the buses are here, but all the Hujjaj went into the buses and buses are full. So you two are remaining here for today. Everyone is going. And then that day passed by. And then when the next day came, I said to Allah again, Allah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Then that bus who was supposed to come in the morning came all the way in the evening. So it was going to be really hard for you to come out of India. So anyway, that's not. So number one is Tehran. So that's why I was saying that's why I did the first Hajj in Tehran, as Tehran. Because we reached Makkah the very last day. So we performed Umrah, and tomorrow we had to put on ihram anyway for Hajj. So I said, let's continue with the ihram and get Tehran. But most of the people who are going early should be performing Tamattu. That everybody understand? The only thing is, for Tamattu and Tehran, it is necessary to sacrifice on the 10th of Zulhijjah. And Ifrad is from Fard, individual. Everybody can understand what Ifrad is. To perform Hajj only, not combining it with Umrah. So those who perform Hajj only and they are not doing Umrah, that is called Hajj Ifrad, and in that you're not supposed to sacrifice. Does it make sense to everybody? Okay. Next is Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. State required to enter Haram of Makkah. That is what Ihram means. Certain acts becomes haram. That's why it is called Ihram. Right? As soon you put on Ihram, get into the state of Ihram, there are certain acts are going to become haram upon you. Right? As soon talking, eating, sleeping is all allowed. But as soon a person says Allahu Akbar for Salah, doesn't everything become haram? Right? You're not supposed to talk in Salah. You're not supposed to eat in Salah. You're not supposed to walk around in Salah. Right? All of these permissible things becomes impermissible. That is what. So Ihram, being in the state of Ihram, is like saying Allahu Akbar for Salah. Does it make sense? Chalo. Certain acts becomes haram, represented by 2 sheets of cloth, right? These 2 sheets of cloth. I wish if you would have had those 2 sheets, so I could show everybody how to put them on. We didn't bring. So anyway, spiritually, the state entered by someone who forsakes everything for Allah, right? So this is what really ihram is. Right now I'm wearing the clothes I can afford. Right? I'm driving a car I can afford. So everything that I have represents my status. But as soon you put on ihram, that is the first thing. You lose everything. You lose your status. You're wearing the most normal clothes, all white, right? Not even stitched. Right? So this is what really ihram is, that Allah wants you to show humility, humbleness. That's what it is. Okay. Now, miqat. Now everybody, this is what miqat is. There are boundaries around the haram. You cannot cross without wearing ihram. So those people who are landing directly into Jeddah. So there are some people who are going to be directly landing into Jeddah. Right? If they have intention of performing Hajj and they are going to Makkah first from Jeddah, right? So they have to be wearing ihram. If you land in Jeddah without wearing ihram, without the intention of ihram, you have to pay penalty. Right? But if someone is directly landing into Medina, then you don't have to be in the state of ihram. Or you're landing in Jeddah, but your intention is to visit Medina first. Still, you don't have to be in ihram. Make sense? Okay. Now, but these boundaries are called ihram. From all sides of the world, people will be coming. So, for any side you're coming, these are the boundaries established by hadith. Reaching miqat wajib to enter state of ihram before crossing this border of intending to enter Makkah. If ihram not entered, then must return back to border and enter ihram. You have to go back and wear ihram again. If not possible, then must offer a lamb. That's the penalty. Penalty is that you have to sacrifice an animal. That is what dam means. Dam in Arabic refers to blood. You have to shed blood of an animal. You have to sacrifice an animal in Arab. That is what the real penalty is. So whenever throughout this seminar I refer to dam, so dam means sacrificing an animal. So Jeddah is within miqat, must be in ihram prior to landing at Jeddah if intended to directly head to Makkah. Entering ihram and stopover just before Jeddah. So wearing those two clothes doesn't mean that you got into the state of ihram. After wearing those two clothes, let's say you landed in Dubai. Now from Dubai, you're going from here to Dubai and then from Dubai to Jeddah, right? So what you can do, you reach Dubai, you can put on ihram, right? You offer 2 rakat salah, you take shower, you offer 2 rakat, you put on those two clothes, you offer 2 rakat salah, and then you ask word to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of that you do, but you don't recite talbiyah. When you recite labbaik Allahumma labbaik, that's what begins your ihram, right? So what you can do, you can wear everything, do everything, don't recite talbiyah. And when you are in the plane, when you finally sit in the plane, after the layover is over and you sit in the plane, that's when you can recite talbiyah. Right? So you can delay talbiyah to avoid being in the state of ihram. Does it make sense? Chalo. Ihram not necessary going to Medina from Jeddah. I've already explained this. Although cross miqat, no intention to go directly to Makkah. As long as you have no intention of directly going into Makkah, you're going to Medina, there's no need to wear ihram. Ihram not necessary going directly to Medina, as Medina is outside of miqat. Preparation for entering ihram. Obviously, one has to clip nails, remove armpit hair and pubic hair. So before entering into ihram, you can clean yourself as much you can. You should clean yourself as much you can. You can apply fragrance, you can do whatever. Also, wudu, cleaning yourself. But after wearing ihram, all of these things are going to become prohibited. So that's why you should do it before you enter ihram, for cleanliness. Now, preparation for entering ihram, apply scent only to body. Sunnah, but for males only. So you can apply fragrance only to the body, not to the ihram, not to the piece of cloth. Not to the garment itself. You can apply the scent onto your body. And from body, if it gets onto the garment, that's no problem. But you should not apply it on ihram. Okay. Clothing of ihram, 2 unstitched white sheets of cloth. Right? It has to be unstitched. It should not be stitched. So any stitched clothes one has to remove from his body. Right? Even including undergarments. One has to remove them. Must remove all other clothing, including undergarments, socks, shoes, hat. Slippers must not cover central bone. So this type of slipper you can wear. The central bone, this bone right here, has to be uncovered. Okay? So clothes for ihram for females. Females, sisters are going to be wearing normal clothes. Usual clothes. What they wear, they are going to be wearing. They are not supposed to wear this white cloth. Hijab, socks, shoes, etc. Everything they can use. Right? Clothes cannot touch the face. Now, for them, even in normal state, it is necessary to cover their face. That is hijab. That is niqab. But in ihram, no cloth can touch their face. So that's why you must have seen a lot of women who do parda properly, who do niqab properly, they wear this baseball hat. And then they cover the niqab from this side. So the face is covered, but the cloth is not touching the face. The cloth cannot touch the face. Does it make sense to everybody? That is what for the women's. Cloth cannot touch the face. And menstruating women will also put on clothing of ihram. Obviously, they will also enter into the state of ihram before, even though they are in their cycle. Now, salah for ihram, obviously, as soon you will take shower, clean yourself, you will put on those two garments, and then after that you will offer 2 rakat salah to ask Allah for help and acceptance. Right? This salah is not necessary. It is just to you beginning a great journey. So you should seek Allah's help with offerings. Wasta'inu bis-sabri was-salah. So that is what salah is. Now, first rakat you should recite Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun. Second rakat Qul Huwallahu Ahad, because these are the two surahs who initially expresses our faith. Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun, it is all rejecting the shirk. Qul Huwallahu Ahad, it is all accepting the oneness of Allah. That's it. Now, prayer not offered at makruh or haram times or by menstruating women. Obviously, when you are offering these 2 rakat, you need to see what time is it. So if it's time between Asr and Maghrib, it is makruh to offer nafil salah. Right? So you're not going to be offering nafil salah. Right? So when you will be heading from Medina to Makkah, you will be stopping by at Miqat to get into the state of ihram. And that time is not going to be in your control. Whenever the bus will take you, you have to go. So it could be between Asr to Maghrib or between Fajr to sunrise. These times, nafil salah cannot be offered. Right, everybody? Now, menstruating woman, obviously, she is not going to be offering any salah. Huh?
Sunnah prayer.
Yeah, it is for sunnah. 2 rakat sunnah is sunnah. Yes. Okay, for males to cover head. Now, until you, like I said, until you did not recite talbiyah, you are still not in the state of ihram. So when you will put on these 2 clothes and offer salah, you should be covering your head. At that time, you can cover your head. You can wear a topi and offer these 2 rakats. Because it's sunnah to wear a topi before you offer salah.
थोड़ा सा ये एक्सप्लेन करें, सुन्ना कब पढ़नी है और नवाफिल कब पढ़नी है?
So when you sunnah types, these are defined, right? That so every sunnah salah is also nafil salah.
तो नियत
So
किसी का है?
you will make dua of nafil. You will make niyat of sunnah, but every sunnah salah is optional too. It's just that Rasulullah, some of them he did it obvious continuously, right? He never left it. He was constant in it. That's why it is called sunnah. Right? That's the only difference. But everything except farz and wajib is nafil, is optional. Okay? Chalo. Now what are we using?
There is no boundary for talbiyah. For ihram, the clothing, miqat is the boundary. For talbiyah,
Yeah, talbiyah is the boundary. For talbiyah, you have to recite talbiyah before you enter into the boundary.
into miqat.
Into miqat, yes. Right? Because that is what is going to establish your ihram. So you have to be ihram by reciting talbiyah before you enter into the boundary. Got it?
Can you put shoes or it's barefoot?
Huh? No, that's what we just learned. That your top part has to be uncovered. So when you wear shoes, obviously this top part is going to be get covered.
Top part will be
Has to get covered, yes.
But if you put a sandal, right, it has like 2 laces.
Uncovered. You say uncovered.
Uncovered.
Okay. But if you wear sandals, it has two laces, right? So
Yeah, that 2 laces is fine.
that's fine.
Not totally covering the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, when you will wear a sandal, it has something has to stuck on the top to hold the zippers.
Right.
But this top part, this right here, has to be.
And one more question. So when you put a sandal, right? Can the sandal be stitched?
Yeah, sandal can be stitched. That's right.
Have somebody ask a question, if you repeat the question, the sister will know.
Okay. Yes. Inshallah.
And if
Okay.
the time is short, we can have.
Yeah, we have not even started yet. The time is
So
over.
we can have a second session for that later on.
Okay. Okay, now make niyyah for ihram including type of act intended. So you have to make intention of what type of hajj you're making at that very moment when you are entering into ihram. Intention is no. This is the dua everybody needs to say. Allahumma inni uridu al-umrata fayassirha li wa taqabbalha minni. For the person who is only performing umrah, doing tamattu, so he will only intend for umrah. But if you're doing qiran, then you will be making intention for both. Allahumma inni uridu al-hajja wal-umrata fayassirhuma li wa taqabbalhuma minni. And if you're only performing hajj in hajj ifrad, then you will only make intention for hajj. Allahumma inni uridu al-hajja fayassirhu li wa taqabbal minni. I will share all of these du'as in the book, inshallah. Okay. Now this intention should be done verbally. One should say it, one should utter these words. But silent is also accepted. Right? Can be done in your own language. You not necessarily recite in Arabic, you can recite in your own language. If performing Hajj on behalf of someone else, okay, that's Hajj al-Badr. If someone is doing for someone else, that this is the moment he should intend for him. Right? Now, spiritual dimension and complete Hajj and Umrah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have mentioned this earlier as well. That these are the 2 requirements Allah has. Itmam and Ikhlas. This is the idea. Niyyah is core for all acts of worship. Now, Hajj is not gained. I have already explained all of this, that what Ikhlas is. Now, this is the talbiyah. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika laka. Now, for this talbiyah, the ruling for men has to be loud. Right? That is what the hadith says. Al-hajju, al-ajju wa sajju. And what is Hajj? Hajj is to make noise, to be out loud. That is what Hajj is. Right? Jibreel alayhi salam specifically descended when Rasulullah was with the companions on performing Hajj, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, Allah is asking from your companions to recite talbiyah as loud they can. Louder they can. Shor bachana, shor. Understand? And that is what the wazifa of Hajj is. Right? How would I say? The one of the major element of Hajj, to recite talbiyah as much as you can. Now people ask, what should we be reciting? You should leave everything. There is no other zikr. The only zikr in Hajj is to recite talbiyah as much as you can. Okay, cannot be absolutely silent. You should not. Women are going to be doing this softly. Men are going to be doing out loud, but should not be doing it totally silently. You can manage your voice, but should not be doing it totally silently. Okay, and the women should be this much voice that they can hear themselves. Not too loud, not totally silent.
So
Yes.
Talbiyah has to be done even in Mina and also Arafat, or just on Arafat?
Yes. So talbiyah is going to be done until you see the house of Allah. So when you perform your umrah, it is going to come inshallah, but it's a good question. So talbiyah, when you perform your umrah, so as soon you will enter the state of ihram, you will start reciting talbiyah. And you will keep on reciting it until you come into the Masjid al-Haram and you see the house of Allah. And the sunnah of seeing the house of Allah is that you recite Allahu Akbar. Right? La ilaha illallah. And then you make dua. So as soon you will, the first sight of the Kaaba is going to end your talbiyah. And then same thing works in Hajj as well. So Hajj, when you will put on ihram for Hajj, you will start reciting talbiyah in Mina, in Arafat, in Muzdalifah, everywhere. And on the 10th, when you will come see the house of Allah, Tawaf and Ziyarat, your talbiyah will end again. Okay? As it is coming next. Use talbiyah should be continuously recited throughout the journey. Use changes of state as a reminder. Right? So every time, that's what the hadith says, every time a person changes his state, he was sitting, he stood up. He was sitting, he laid down. Every change of state, you should be doing it like this change of state in Salah, we do it with Allahu Akbar. So every change of state should be done with Talbiyah. Everybody understand? Now, so you want to do that when you are in a proper place, when you are standing in a proper place. Nowadays, I don't know what is happening, but the recent, last time when I went, they are not allowing anyone to stand. As soon as you get there, they will ask you to move, start circulating, start doing the walk. So you're gonna find a place where you can stand for a little bit properly and have a good image of the Kaaba. Okay. So that everyone needs to keep in mind.
The wind.
So that's why it says head towards central part of the masjid where Kaaba is located, walk slowly with sight down. Right? Find relatively less crowded area. What is going on?
हाँ वो उसको wind all.
Find relatively less crowded area away from path where people are coming and going into masjid. Sighting the Kaaba. When you sight the Kaaba, make dua highly accepted. This is dua is for sure accepted. Right? So as soon you will see the Kaaba, you say Allahu Akbar. You say La ilaha illallah. Right? And then you stand in a place and you supplicate, you make dua. So Imam was asked, what dua should be asked? So he says, since he was a faqih, that he gave a dua, right? There's nothing can be greater than that. That you should ask Allah to accept all your prayers. Right? So Allah make me mustajab da'wat. Make me such a person whose all supplications are answered right away. Right? That's the best dua you can make. Right? Accepted for other duas. Right? And entry into Jannah without any account. So that is the great Yadkhuluna al-Jannata bighayri hisab. Without any accountability, Allah let us enter into Jannah. That is the greatest thing one can achieve. Now Umrah begins, right? Now Umrah, essentially it has two things. Tawaf and Sa'i. Everybody together. Tawaf and Sa'i. Tawaf is first. Circulating the Kaaba is first. Is first, necessary. Involves circling the Kaaba 7 times. Sa'i is wajib. It is also necessary. Sa'i is what? When you run between Safa and Marwa. That is called Sa'i. Sa'i literally means to run. Okay, it refers to moving between Safa and Marwa 7 times. Both done in a state of ihram. Now let's start Tawaf. Now, this is the sweetest thing, most delicious thing of Hajj. You will never get tired of it. Your legs are going to say to you that we are done, but your heart will say, I am not done. That is what Tawaf is. May Allah grant us. So literally to circle around, legally to circle around the Kaaba 7 times with an intention. Spiritually is the lover circling the home of the beloved. Right? So that is what really essence of Hajj is, that you finally circle around the house of your beloved. Types of tawaf, several types of exist, all performed in a similar way. Step 1, obviously one has to have wudu. One has to perform tawaf in a state of wudu. Ensure a state of wudu before you enter the masjid. Number 2, locating the starting point. Locate Hajj al-Aswad. So it will show you the picture right here. So that is Hajj al-Aswad, as starting line. And you see that green, you will see green lines. I hope there is a picture here. I will show you the other picture too, but this is how. So right, in front of the black stone, there is going to be green lines. So there is an imaginary line. You can just imagine that line. So before that line, from that line, you have to start your tawaf. Right? So now, before we start, right, it says tawaf begins at an imaginary line between Hajj al-Aswad and the green line. So there are 4 corners of the Kaaba, right? As you see, Shami corner, Yemeni corner, black stone, and then Iraqi corner. So you gotta go up till after your dua is done, right? You will go up to that black stone, right? So there will be a whole lot of people. So you gotta, just find a space where you're in line, and you have to stand just before the line. So let's take this table as Kaaba, right? Let's say this corner is Hajj Aswad. So this is the line, right? So one is like I stand right before the Kaaba, before the Hajj Aswad, right? So you're not supposed to do that in the beginning. First is you stand a little aside, right? Over here, what you will do? Step 3. Now, at this moment, before starting the circulation, before starting the tawaf, you will be wearing ihram, right? So for men, they have to do iltiba. Iltiba is what? You have to uncover the right shoulder. So let's say you're wearing like this, right? I have a piece of cloth. So let's say this is the ihram, right? I'm wearing it like this. When I got there, right? I'm wearing like this. So now, when I will start the first tawaf, every tawaf after which there is a sa'i. Every tawaf after which there is a sa'i, you have to do istiba. Istiba is what? Throughout the tawaf, your garment has to be like this. This shoulder has to be uncovered. Does it make sense? Now make istiba by exposing the right arm, and it's done by only men. Done only when sari is to fall. This is going to be done. So there are going to be several types of tawaf. This tawaf is for what, everybody? Umrah. Right? So there are going to be different types of tawaf. Tawaf is ziyarat, tawaf is qudum, nafli tawaf. Right? When you are in Makkah and you're done with your umrah, you can just go anytime you want, and you can do as many tawaf you want to do. Those tawaf are going to be nafli tawaf, optional tawaf. Right? But since they are optional and there's no sari to follow, you will not be doing istiba. You will not be wearing ihram even. Right? So now sunnah tawaf still occurs if forget. So this doing istiba is a sunnah. You get reward for this. But if you forgot to do it because of a lot of people and you forgot, that doesn't mean that your tawaf is not counted. Tawaf is still counted. Okay? Now do before reaching starting point. This needs to be done before you start the reaching point. Ramal is performed whenever istiba is performed. Now these are the two things. Every time when you will do istiba, you have to do ramal as well. What is ramal? Walking upright in a light jogging motion, done during the first 3 rounds. So there are 7 rounds in the right. In the tawaf, there are 7 rounds. In first 3 of them, you gotta walk like you're a wrestler. You're taking your chest out and you're showing your strength. And you gotta walk as like a wrestler walks. Someone who is in good health. Someone who is in good. So that's what happens. That's what happened at the time of conquest of Makkah. That mushrikeen were thinking Muslims are weak. So Rasulullah asked the Muslims to show their strength to mushriks. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved this position and this pose so much that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it that everyone who will come for this Hajj and Umrah has to show their strength. Got it? Okay. But this is also sunnah. If you have so many, obviously it's going to be a lot of right? You will not have sometimes one of my cousin, he just went for Umrah in this Ramadan. He was telling me this time I did tawaf in the air. Where?
Yeah.
In the air. Because I was stuck in the traffic that I got lifted up in the air. And I was just circling around in the air. This is how I did. So I'm not scaring everyone, but this could happen, okay? Okay. So, but if you if you are in a time where there is not a lot of people and you're able to do this, you should do it. And this is going to be done only the first three. After the first three is over, you do it normally. Do the circle and power normally. Okay. Step 4 is intention. Select a location a few steps before the start line. Imaginary line of Hajj al-Aswad is to your right. Stand facing the Kaaba. Make niyyah of the fourth. Now, everybody, let's say, I said, let's say this is the Kaaba, right? So now, it says, few steps before the start line. Is everyone can see this? So, before you get to the start line, you step a little before that. And that's where you're going to make the intention. That, oh Allah, like the way you made intention for wearing ihram, same intention is going to be here also. Oh Allah, I am making intention to perform tawaf for my umrah. Please make it easy for me and please accept it for me. Very good. Got it, everybody? Okay. Now, niyat is done. Now, make niyat of better to specify type, but not necessarily. Raise hands as if making takbir and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi. Now, this is called istiqbal. So now this is called istiqbal, everybody. Istiqbal. Istiqbal is to welcome. Now, so you will come, everybody can see. This is the Hajj Aswad line, right? So I come, stand few steps aside. And I will say, I will look at the Kaaba and I will raise my hands like this. I'll say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. And I will leave them. This is your istiqbal. And before you do this, you will make intention. Right? Intention is there. If intention is there, I am performing this Umrah Tawaf, you don't have to say it verbally. If your intention, obviously you are there for Umrah. Right? Your intention in your heart is enough. But you say it verbally, that's good for you. Ask Allah for help to make it easy for you. Got it? And then you will do istiqbal like the way I just showed you. Now once your istiqbal is done, then you will move to the straight line. Got it? And over here you will do istilam. Istilam, so when there is no rush, so tawaf begins by kissing the black stone. Tawaf begins by kissing the black stone. But obviously there's going to be a whole lot of rush there. A whole lot of people are going to be there. So you're not going to be able to touch Hajj al-Aswad. So as an alternative of touching Hajj al-Aswad, you will wave your hand. And this waving hand, like a friend standing far away and you can't meet him, you say, hi, assalamu alaikum, like this, right? That's waving hand, this is called istilam. Right? So what is istilam? Align yourself to the left arm is in line with corner. So that body is facing direction of flow. Turn chest and face towards Kaaba with feet planted forward. Right? Now, like I said, you will come to the line, you will face the Kaaba again, you will say again, Bismillah walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, and then you will kiss your hands. You will kiss your hands. And as soon you will kiss your hands, that's where the tawaf begins. Right? This is what istilam is done. Right? Now, step 6 is you're going to start circling the Kaaba. Circle the Kaaba in the direction of flow. Now, everybody, let's say, so there are three things we did. Before we start circling the Kaaba, we did 3 things. I'm explaining this more because this is going to be done frequently. You're going to be doing tawaf again and again. Right? So you got to know how to do the tawaf properly. First is you made intention. Second is you did istiqbal. Before getting up to the line, you said Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, and you leave your hands. And the third is istilam. And you get on the line, and then you face the Kaaba and say Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and you kiss your hands. Kissing hands, as soon you will kiss. Now, this kissing hands should be done silently. This sound should not come. Just normal kiss, and then that's it. And then the first step should be the right step. The first step should be the right step. And then you start circling around the Kaaba. Right? And when you're circling around the Kaaba, everybody, please pay attention to this. A lot of people, they do this wrong because they have no idea, no one has taught them, and they have never learned it. When you're making dua, and when you have, up till you have not started circling the Kaaba, you can look at the Kaaba as many times as you can. You can face your chest towards the Kaaba. But once you start circling around, once you start your law, you cannot look at the Kaaba. You cannot face your chest towards the Kaaba. So your eyesight should be down, and your chest should be away from the Kaaba. You should not be walking like this. Okay? If you walk some steps having your chest towards the Kaaba, you have to go back and do the steps again. Does it make sense? Everybody understands? So throughout the circulation, all these 7 rounds, your side should be down and your chest should be away from the house of Allah, the Baytullah. Does it make sense? So right, when you are offering salah, we should be looking down, right? We should not be looking here and there. And our chest has to be towards the Kaaba. That's how it is tawaf also. Now, you have started tawaf. Each time, let's say, so this is Hajar Aswad. On this side, this is Rukn Yamani. This is Hajar Aswad. This side is Rukn Yamani. So let's say this is Hajar Aswad. This side of Kaaba is Rukn Yamani. So you will go around, all the way around, you will come until Rukn Yamani. So without touching the house of Allah. So remember, we have learned this, that in the state of Ihram, we cannot put on fragrance. So it is good that before we start circulating the Kaaba, we go towards the Kaaba and make dua. Or after circulating, after tawaf is done, we go towards the Multazim and we touch the Kaaba and make dua. It is sunnah, it is good. But Kaaba, house of Allah, is filled with fragrance. If you touch it, you will be touching fragrance. And that would make apparently lazim upon you. So while in the state of Haram, you should not be touching. Does it make sense? So now, so whenever you will walk pass by the Rukn Yamani, this. So you start your tawaf here, you're going all the way around, and when you come by here, over here, you need to recite the dua Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Right? You will feel it. You don't have to look towards the Kaaba. You will feel it that you will by the flow and by walking you will understand that now I'm crossing the freeway. Okay? And now when you will, your first round is, you went and your first round is over, as soon you will reach the green light again, you have to turn and you have to do istinam again. Don't face the chest again towards, don't face that. Just by doing this, let's say this is Hajar Aswad. So I will come here, I will do this. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, akbar. Kiss again, start again. So 7 rounds, 7 istinam. Every time you pass by that Hajar Aswad, you have to do istinam. So after 7 rounds, you're done. Right? So you began with 1 and you ended with 1. So for 7 it's going to be 8. Right? And then you have to do another istinam after offering 2 rakat. So after tawaf there are 2 rakat wajib tawaf. Let's read this. So let's complete this and then I'll show you what wajib tawaf is. So now when you're circulating the Kaaba, there is no specific zikr that you have to do. Right? There is no specific dua you have to recite. It's just that you have to have consciousness of Allah. Being in the remembrance of Allah. That is what I said. Some people start to recite Quran while making, so it is allowed. But recitation of Quran requires your consciousness in the Quran. Right? So, and because this is the time in which duas are highly accepted. So what I used to do a lot, that I used to keep this dua book which is called Munajat Maqbool, and I will share this in the group inshallah. That everybody needs to take this dua book, and these are the duas which Rasulullah used to make. What can be more valuable duas than Rasulullah's duas? So I used to recite those du'as, and by recite, because they have 7 sections of these du'as. So each section I would complete, each tawaf, each circle I would complete one. That's how I remember how many circles I have been to. And it would keep me busy. I would not realize that the tawaf is over. Right? And at the same time, this is the best time to make dua. Right? If you don't want to make dua, you don't want to recite the Quran, what you call the least you can do is recite Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. That's all. Right? This is what you need to do during circulating the Kaaba. Now, make zikr, recite Quran, recite kalima while making no established prayers. There is no specific duas needs to be recited. And then I have told you already, when the Umrah is going to start, you have to stop reciting the talbiyah. However, have a plan. You need to have a plan. What you need to be doing while circulating the Kaaba, right? I have told you my plan already. So, passing Rukn Yamani, as you pass this corner, touch with right hand, both palms. If distant from corner, do not raise or kiss hands. In Rukn Yamani, remember Rukn Yamani, the side corner before Hajj Aswad, you're not supposed to kiss hands here. But you just have to recite the dua. Sunnah to recite Rabbana after passing corner until reaching Hajj Aswad. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. Okay, now this is how the corners look like. Step 8 and 9, completing rounds. With each circuit, make istilam. I have already explained this to you. Each circle, as soon as it will end, you have to do istilam again. With istilam means saying Bismillah, raising hands, saying Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and kissing your hand. This is what istilam means. Make 7 rounds total and complete 7th round with istilam. So that's how it will be 8 istilam. Right? After tawaf, istiwa ends. Now that uncovering your right shoulder, this will end. So you can wear your garment properly now. There's no need to uncover that again. It's done. Now, after tawaf is done, you will have to offer 2 rakat of salah, which is wajib. Every time you will do tawaf, you have to offer 2 rakat. Any type of tawaf. After any type of tawaf, whether it is nafli, sunnah, or whatever it is, you have to offer 2 rakat. Understand? Okay. If no space, then can perform anywhere in the masjid. Don't salah at Maqam Ibrahim. So let me show you what Maqam Ibrahim is. Do you see Maqam Ibrahim?
Yes.
Right? That golden thing is there, in which there is a stone on which the footprints of Ibrahim alayhi salam are there. The sunnah, the best thing is that you stand here, facing Maqam Ibrahim, facing the Kaaba, and offer 2 rakat here, if you can find a place. But if so many people are filled up in this place and you're not finding a place, and the policemen are going to be moving you again and again, then go to any place and you can offer these 2 rakats. Okay. Again, should not be offered during makruh or haram times. These 2 rakats should not be offered during makruh or haram times. So if it's makruh time between Asr and Maghrib, you can wait. You can offer these 2 rakats after Maghrib Salah. Right? You can delay. That's not a problem. Okay. Offer after Farz of next Salah. Sunnah to recite Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun again in the second account of Allah. This is Maqam Ibrahim, everybody. Okay now. See Maqam Ibrahim. This is where you have to stand. And this ground floor is called Mataf. So you can offer this tawaf on the first floor too, on the second floor too, on the roof as well, right? But the ground floor is called Mataf. Now, a lot of times the greatest congregation is at the Mataf, and everybody knows women are also going to be with you, right? So no matter how much of a gathering it is still haram to touch a strange woman. Right? So you gotta be aware of this, that no strange woman's body should touch your body. Right? A lot of times, one of my teachers, I saw him, he would never go into the mataf and do tawaf. He would always do at the first floor. Because he will always say, it is not that much reward in offering tawaf in the mataf. The much sin is there of touching your body to the strange woman's body. Right? So even though you care of yourself, but the women are not going to care. Right? There are some women they're careless and they touch your body. So you gotta be careful of this. Now once you're done with your 2 rakat, you will go tabs located. You will the step 11 is go to Zamzam. So tawaf is done. After tawaf 2 rakat. After 2 rakat, you will go drink Zamzam. Allahu Akbar. After when you get so tired of circling and all that, when you will drink this, it will take away all the tiredness away. It will take all the tiredness away. So Hadith says, Munafiq, a hypocrite, cannot drink Zamzam a lot. So believer, he drinks Zamzam to his fill. Khoob bhar ke pina hai. Drink as much you can. Okay? Face direction of the Kaaba and drink as much as possible. As much as possible. Regular sunnah apply, Bismillah right hand, but to drink Zamzam we have to stand instead of sitting. Okay? Also wipe small amount of water over the body. Okay? Zamzam, the dua of Zamzam is spiritual dimension, Prophet ﷺ said, Zamzam is whatever is intended. Right? While drinking Zamzam, whatever intention you will have, it will be granted. Okay? Now, tawaf, all 7 rounds should be done consecutively in a state of wudu. Right? All 7 rounds should be done consecutively in the state of wudu. If wudu breaks before 4, then must start over. So let's say, before you could finish the 4th round, your wudu breaks, then you should start all over. But if breaks after 4 rounds, then can resume at last or complete round that you completed. Meaning, let's say I completed 4 and I was completed with the 5th also, and I was in the 6th one and my wuzu broke. So there are wuzu areas in the mataf. You don't have to go outside the masjid. There are wuzu areas inside that. You can just go make wuzu and you can resume with your 6th one. You can just start the 6th one all over again. Although even though if you have done the 6th one half, avoid that. So you will start as if you have completed 5, you start from the 6th one. Make sense to everybody? Okay. Now, but wuzu is necessary for tawaf. Right? Wuzu has to be there throughout the tawaf. Tawaf. Okay. Okay to perform tawaf on 2nd and 3rd floors, I have already explained. If confused about the number of rounds, then go with the certain number. So a lot of time people keep this tasbih in their hands. Right? So you should keep that tasbih. But even in that case, sometimes you get to lose the count. Right? So let's say you say that you're in doubt that maybe I have done 5 or maybe I have done 6. So what is certain? 4. Right? 5 and 6 you have doubt. Right? Maybe you have done 5 or you have done 4 or you have done 6. So 4 is the certain that you have done 4. So you will start from 5. Right? So you take the certain amount. Make sense? Okay. Now there is a hatim area. A person should not enter the hatim area. You see this? It's not showing there.
In a previous picture.
Huh?
It's in a previous picture.
If
you go scroll up.
This place is called hatim.
Maqam Ismail.
No, it's not showing here for some reason. Yeah, this blue thing.
Yeah.
Right? That is called hatim. And I'll show you. There are more pictures inside. Okay, now. If drop something, do not bend down to pick it up. You will be crushed. You don't want to get crushed. Body must face direction of flow. If chest or back faces Kaaba, then must retrace steps or, if not possible, repeat up. I have already told you guys that you cannot back the Kaaba, you cannot face the Kaaba while circulating. Joint congregational prayer, when arises, tawaf usually resumes immediately after the first prayer. So let's say you're circulating the Kaaba and Salah time starts. So wherever you're standing, you start offering Salah, you join the congregation there. And as soon as the congregation first Salah is over, you can just move a little bit back and then start again your tawaf. You resume there. Now, in tawaf, husband or wife should not hold hands or touch physically. Should not be touching each other. Cloth or fabric is okay. If you're wearing that piece of cloth, she is with you, she can just hold that to be with you. She can do that, but she cannot hold on to your hands. Right? Perform tawaf on your own strength. Wheelchairs are also available. Turn off yourself. Now, this is the initial part. You know, a lot of people, they are doing FaceTime while doing circular. This is so wrong. I'm totally against the respect of the Kaaba.
Yes.
I heard this Sheikh from Pakistan, he was saying that I saw a dream and I got to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said Rasulullah told me all those people who come to Hajj and Umrah and they have their phones with them and they have pictures in their phones. Obviously, each and every one of us have pictures in their phone. I do not accept their salam. I do not accept their salam. So we should be totally avoiding taking pictures. Totally avoiding. This is against sincerity. Who you want to show? The one whom you want to show is already watching you. Right? There is no need to take pictures. Please. Sa'i. Now, first rukun of Umrah is done. The second rukun of Umrah is Sa'i. Tawaf followed by Salah at Maqam Ibrahim. It moved back. Okay, involves circling the Kaaba second times. Then Sa'i Wajib refers to moving. Now, both done in the state of Ihram. Your Ihram is not over. The second rukun starts, which is Sa'i. Sa'i literally means to run. Legally refers to going between Safa and Marwa 7 times. Now, like I said, 8 istilam are done. This is the 9th one. So you finish your circulating Kaaba 7 times with istilam. You offer 2 rakat, you made dua, you drank zamzam. Now you come back to Hajj al-Aswad again. And you do this 9th istilam. Understand everybody? Mustahab to face direction of Hajj al-Aswad and perform istilam once again, making a total of 9 before Sa'i. Done from afar. Right? Obviously, you're going to be doing it from far from Hajj al-Aswad. Approaching Safa. Proceed to Safa in the direction of the green light on the wall, but towards. Now you will see signs. Ila Safa, towards Safa. So you just follow those signs and it will take you where Safa, the mountain of Safa is. Right? When heading in the direction, you should recite this dua. Abda'u bima bada Allahu ta'ala bihi inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. It's not necessary, you recite it, it's good. Okay? Now this is how it is going to be. This is the mountain of Safa. You see, people are standing on that. But nowadays these are the old pictures. You will not get to touch the mountain itself. Okay? It's all covered with glass. But you will get to this point. You have to get to this point where you have to climb up a little. Once you climb up a little, that's where you will make your intention. Climb Safa slightly, make intention for Sa'i. Again, the dua is again the same. Oh Allah, make it easy for me. Or Allah, accept it from me. Now, every time when you will reach Safa and every time when you will reach Marwa, you gotta make duas. Whatever dua comes to your heart. And as long dua you can make. Right? This is the time, again and again I'm telling you. Entire Hajj is all about supplications. The more dua you can make. So if you're not in the habit of making duas, you're going to get tired. Right? And you're going to lose these great opportunities of acceptance of dua. So initial zikr, facing Kaaba, raise both hands to shoulders as if making dua and say Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah 3 times, salawat, make dua for a few minutes, zamzam in barren land, fervor of Hazrat Umar. So now, as soon you climb up towards the Safa, now you will face the Kaaba. You will face the Kaaba and you will make dua. and then you will recite the dua, Allah, I'm intending to do sa'i, and accept it from me, make it easy for me, and you will make dua, and then you will come down. As soon you will come down, this is your sa'i begins. Right? So tawaf, you have to go all the way around, come back to the same point to complete one circle. But sa'i is not like that. Just in this Ramadan, last Ramadan when I was there, so in sa'i, we met one person. So we while making sa'i, we asked him, how you perform your umrah, and he didn't knew this. So sa'i is from Safa to Marwa is one. It's not like you go Safa to Marwa and come back to Marwa Safa to make it one. Each round is one round. From Safa to Marwa is one, and Marwa to Safa is two. And his understanding was to Safa to come back to Safa is one. Does it make sense, everybody? So you have to go all the way to Marwa. Now, you make Safa and then last part.
What if we mention 9 before going to say?
Huh? 9 is Tina? You come back and then do it.
After say before say only have to come back.
No. So it's also it's not something necessary. Obviously, it's part of the etiquettes of sa'i. If you miss that, it's not. You will be paralyzed. Okay. Now we have done this. Initial dhikr facing Kaaba, we have done this too. Heading towards Marwa. Now we have to head towards Marwa. Head towards Marwa, right lane, reciting adhkar and dua. In particular, the following should be recited. Rabbi Aghfir Warham Antal Azul Akram. This is the dua we need to be reciting while making sa'i. Between area marked by green lights, quicken pace, running slowly, manually. So, this is Safa where you're going to start, that is Marwa where you're going to end. Between that, there are two green lights. You will see they are green. This is the area where all on top of you, all green lights. As soon you enter in that area, you have to run. Like Hajra radiallahu anha alayhi salam, she ran. Right? So this was the space in which she was not able to see Ismail alayhi salam. So she would run from this place, quicker, more faster, to get to a point where she can see. And that's what your state of heart should be. Should be remembering how Hajra alayhi salam she ran. What kind of sacrifice she gave that's so God accepted by Allah that Allah made it mandatory for each Haji and the person performing Umrah to do what she did. Okay? Now, see, this is how the green light is going to be. Everyone can see it?
Yes.
As soon you enter that green area, you gotta run. Okay? And the dua you are need to make is Rabbi Aghfir Warham Innaka Antal Azul Akram. Upon Marwa, when you reach Marwa, at Marwa, climb slightly and face the direction of the Kaaba again. Like I have said, each time when you will climb Safa, you have to make dua. Each time when you climb Marwa, you have to make dua. There is no specific dua. There is no specific action needs to be done. If you think there's too much, there's a lot of crowd, and you're not getting a chance to stand, you can skip dua also. You can just turn around, you can start the second sa'i. But it's good, it's an opportunity of acceptance of dua. Repeat what was done as Safa. This completes one round. So from Safa to Marwa, that is one round. Return to Safa. Head back to Safa to complete second round. Remember to run slowly, men between green lights. Women are not going to be running. They are going to be constantly walking slowly. There is no need to run from women. Only men are going to be running. As Safa makes zikr and dua as previously described, 7th round ends at Marwa. So Safa to Marwa 1, and then Marwa to Safa, Safa to Marwa, Marwa to Safa, and then Safa to Marwa. It's going to start from Safa and on Marwa. Spiritual dimension. So we have already covered all of this. Completion of sa'i. 7th round ends at Marwa. If performing Umrah for Hajj Tamattu, then after sa'i must shave, halaq or trim qasr hair to exit Ihram. When you will done on Marwa, your 7th round is done, that's when your compulsory acts of your Umrah are done. Now only thing is left is to get out of the state of ihram. Right? So what is sunnah here is just offer 2 rakats salat shukr. That may Allah granted you the opportunity of performing umrah. Offer 2 rakat, and after that you can go outside. There are so many barber shops there. And then for what is it? Halaq or qasr. One of the two you have to do.
We offer 2 rakat near Marwa and then
On Marwa, yes. You can offer 2 rakat. Okay, to perform sa'i on upper levels of masjid above Safa and Marwa, sunnah to do all rounds together, permissible to take a break or to drink water. So,
You missed the halak and qasr.
I'll cover that. This is about sa'i as well. So, when you're making tawaf, you have to constantly do it. You can't take break while making tawaf. But in sa'i is different. Sa'i is longer though. It will take longer time, more time than doing tawaf. And so, if while making sa'i you get tired or your wife gets tired, you both can sit down and relax and then start from the same place again. If you get thirsty, you can drink water. Right? In sa'i, both of these things are allowed. And obviously, if congregation prayer arises, then joint prayer, sa'i usually resumes after first prayer. You can start offering salah, and once the salah is over, you can start resuming your sa'i again. If unsure of number of rounds, then go to the lower number. I have explained this earlier. Husband and wife should not hold hands or touch physically during sa'i because you're still in state of ihram. Right? Perform on your stand. Wheelchairs are also available. Wudu is preferred but not required. Unlike tawaf. Tawaf wudu is required. For sa'i wudu is preferred. You should be having wudu. Obviously, you're performing an act of umrah. You should be having wudu. But if you lose wudu, it doesn't require that you have to go make wudu again in order to perform sa'i. It's still okay.
Do you carry a water bottle to drink water?
Yeah, there are water fountains on your way. So you can just stop by and drink water. It's on your way. Okay, and then halaq required after Hajj or Umrah to release an individual from ihram. So this is an act which takes you out of the ihram. So either you do qasr or do halaq. Not perform if doing Umrah of Hajj and Qiran. Remember I told you, if you're performing Qiran, you're not getting out of ihram after Umrah. You're performing Hajj with the same ihram. So you should not be doing halaq. But most likely everybody will be doing tamattu. So in tamattu, you will have to do halaq in order to get out of the ihram. Men, hair must be removed by shaving better or trimming at least 1 inch of each hair for the head. Right? So throughout from your head, 1 inch is trimmed. That will take you out of the ihram. Because you have to get shaved again for Hajj. Right? So it's better to do qasr first and then you can do halaq in the next. Or you can do halaq in both too. As Rasulullah made dua 3 times for those people, Rahimallahu al-muhalliqeen, those who shave. And then once he made dua for muqassirin. Okay? Bald individuals must have razor passed over skin, still have to shave. Can easily be done at the numerous barber shops located outside the masjid. What women are going to be doing? Women trim slightly more than 1 inch from each area of head. So they will take hair from this side and cut 1 inch. This side, this side, this side, from all sides of the hair, take 1 inch and that's enough. Okay, cut by mahram female in private. Saloons are not present outside of the masjid for women, obviously. After trimming, injunctions of ihram are lifted and umrah is complete. So as soon you will halaq, you will do halaq. Now you can wear proper clothes. You can take shower. You can apply fragrance. You will now live like a normal person. Spending time in Makkah, every prayer in Jamaat, each prayer worth 100,000 times normal. So a lot of people, they say, oh, who will go all the way there? Let's offer salah in the hotel or in the apartment where you live. No, each salah worth 100,000 times more. You do whatever you best you can to offer salah in the masjid. Okay, inshallah. Be careful of intermixing during prayers. That's what I'm going to explain. Be aware of not intermixing with women. Spending time in Makkah, avoid haram, do as much good as possible. So now, like I said, from when you're done with the Umrah until the Hajj starts, you have to spend this time carefully, exerting yourself in ibadah. Right? It's not like Umrah is done, now I'm free, I'm relaxing. No. As much good you can do. Watch, people are sitting in their hotel rooms and watching TV. You didn't went all the way there to watch TV. Watch out for cell phone, especially during tawaf. Perform as much tawaf as possible, better than nafil salah. So, it's better than offering nafil salah in Masjid al-Haram to perform tawaf. The nafil of Masjid al-Haram is tawaf. Okay? So this is the only deed you can only do in Haram, in the house of Allah, in the Kaaba. You can offer nafil salah anywhere in the world, right? So you should do as much tawaf you can. Even just looking at Kaaba is from a worship. Visit graveyard of Makkah and other sacred places. That's up for Hajj. Now that's Hajj begins. Sermon of the 7th. 7th Hajj will come, and on the 7th, Imam will give a khutbah. Masjid al-Haram Imam, he will give a khutbah to let people know the manasik of Hajj, the rulings of Hajj. So you should listen to that. Even though if it's in Arabic, you should listen to that. Describes the command of Hajj, should sit and listen attentively. Now the 5 days of Hajj.
When this sermon will be given?
7th on the 7th. 7th of the
Zohar or like?
So it can be given anytime by the Imam.
Okay, all the Hajjis will be notified about that?
If you are there, obviously you will be notified. But you should be listening, but it's not necessary that if you don't listen something will happen. No, it's not necessary. Now, 8th Zulhijj. 8th Zulhijj. This is the first day of your Hajj. Right? What needs to be done on this day? We have to go to Mina, a place called Mina. You can see Makkah, Mina, Muzdalifah and Arafat. These are the 4 places where Hajj is done. So you're going to be in Makkah on the 8th of Zulhijj. You all are going to be moving towards Mina. Buses will come and take you towards Mina. What needs to be done in Mina? Mustahab to do 5 prayers, Zohar to Fajr of the 9th at Mina. So 8th day will start in the morning time. Buses will take you. So if you are performing tamattu, when the 8th day will begin, you will wear ihram again. And after putting on ihram, you will make niyyah. You don't have to go back to Jeddah. You can, wherever you are in Makkah, you can wear ihram from there. Okay, everybody, in the hotel. But it's preferred and it's like to begin your ihram being in Masjid al-Haram. It's good, right? So let's say you put on ihram, you offer 2 rakat in your hotel room, then you can just walk quickly towards Haram and go and recite talbiyah and make niyyat over there. Okay? Now, buses will take you before Zohar time to Mina. Now you got into this field called Mina, where you will have, where is this? This is Mina. This is how the tents are going to be. Everyone can see it? This is how it's going to be. So you will be notified, you will be taken to your category where you are in, and you will be shown your place. So like I said, all of your luggage still is going to be in your hotel. So you can take some, like I said, backpack with you, in which you can carry your necessities. Okay, inshallah. So now, arrival in re-enter ihram. I have already explained this to you. Change in hotel room, salah and talbiyah can be done in your room or in masjid. No need to go outside for off miqat. Pack for Mina, reside in tents and move about by bus. Carry only necessary items such as sleeping bag. Sleeping bag is going to be there. Medications and all that you need to be taking. So now, you will arrive in Mina. You will be going by bus. Sunnah leave after sunrise. If leave later, okay. Group leader may take you earlier, although this is not in accordance with the Sunnah. They can sometimes take you on the 7th. But that's fine. Not according to Sunnah, but it's still fine. Buses usually arrive before Zohar. Be patient, focus on Allah. You will be notified 8 o'clock bus is coming, but bus will not come until 11 o'clock. So be patient. This is normal. This is totally normal in Hajj. Men and women will be shown respective tents. Take limited space and be happy with what you are allotted. So you're gonna be staying in hotel where this entire room is all yours, and you're sleeping in a queen bed. And when you will end up in Mina, there will be a small tent with 30-40 people in it. You're not gonna get queen bed in Mina. Okay, it's gonna be really small, like this much between these right? It's gonna be small, but it's gonna be enough for you to rest. Let's go quickly. This time is Isha's time is also quick. So this is how Mina is. Mina is gonna look like tents. These are your queen and king beds. Okay, these are going to be the wuzu areas and the bathrooms. Staying in Mina, mustahab. So on the 8th, you got there before Zohar. So Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha of 8th and the Fajr of 9th. These 5 prayers are going to be offered in Mina. That is what the Sunnah is.
Do it in the tents.
You all going to be in tents. Everyone will be offering their own salah. Mustahab to prayer 5 prayers. Right? Prayers not combined but shorted. Right? You're not going to be offering Zohar with Asr. But obviously you're traveling, you're a traveler, so instead of 4 rakat of Zohar, you'll be offering 2 rakat. For Asr, the same thing. Isha for the same thing. Got it? Prayer, Sunnah and Nawafil prayers. So in Mina, obviously it's an opportunity of acceptance of du'as. Learning and teaching Hajj, excessive worshiping. Instead of resting and gossiping, you should not be talking here and there. This is the time of making dua. Or find people who have no idea what to do in Hajj. Teach them for Hajj. Or you can take the books with you and learn about Hajj. Okay. In Mina, Sunnah to spend the night at Mina. Don't try to cut corners. Don't waste time running around. Although some people, instead of staying the night in Mina, they go back to their hotel. Right? You should not be doing that. This is Sunnah to spend the night of 8th of Dhul Hajj in